Hi, everyone. My name is Jenna Ventura. I am the publishing manager at Hasbark Publishing International. I am joined by our bestseller director, Jen Gibson. Today, we are speaking to Steve Falkner, the author of the upcoming book, Blackjack for the Casual Player. Welcome, Steve.
Welcome. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Feel good.
Perfect. Can you tell us a little bit about your book to start off?
You better watch that. I get talking about this subject. I can go on for hours. But
That's all right.
I guess a brief snippet of what it's about. It's about having a proven game plan when you walk into a casino to play blackjack. The foundations of it is generally knowledge and discipline. Knowledge and how to play the game properly. And when you mention blackjack, everyone talks about the basic strategy in that. And that was something developed in the 60s, actually, and improved slightly, and which basically tells players how to play based on the first initial cards they get and what the dealer has. It's still up there as the way to play. So if you're going in to play, you better be using it. So you got to have the knowledge for that. The discipline side of it is more the methodology I have here. And you have to play it to a T, but it takes a lot of discipline. As we know, the casinos try to knock you off your game, your emotions, and everything. And they want you to sit there until you're having a dime left. So play this with discipline, and I've been very successful at it. And it's kind of funny how all this kind of started. I mean, the biggest thing I had in the whole game first was frustration, and it's a very negative term. I'm a casual player, which means I play. I mean, I'm not in there all the time, very infrequently, actually, because I'm a very busy guy. But I like to go down there to just relax, get the vibe of the place, and have fun. But I'm very financially conservative, but I'm also brutally competitive from a life of playing sports and that. So here I am. I get interested in blackjack. I played for years and years and years, but you know, I found it frustrating because the consistency wasn't there. You'd win some, you'd lose some. Being perfectly honest, I might say I was breaking even all the way along, but I probably wasn't. And I wasn't keeping track and all this. So the frustration was kind of boiling over. And I kind of went, geez, you know everything about the game. You know how it works and everything. And you haven't figured this out yet. Like, come on, get with it type thing. So I do these verbal joustings a lot with myself, which actually is a way to spur me on to do things. And so during this, I said, look, if you don't find a perfect way to do it, give it up because you're too frustrated. You want to go there to relax, have fun in that. And if you're this frustrated, it's not going to work. So I started crashing around different, and this idea came to me. And I said, when I heard this idea the first time, I kind of went, this can't be it. It's just far too simple to do. And I've noticed in life, sometimes when you get really simplistic on stuff, there's gold in it. And that's what happened. So I said, okay, this sounds pretty good. Take out a bunch of money, go give it a try. And once this money's gone, forget it. Just leave it, go take up something else, and don't be so frustrated. And since I started playing this system and was very disciplined and all this. And from the time I was past my third table, my wins have outdone my losses by a lot. And at the same time, I sit here and I go, I can't believe it was this simple to do. But again, it's the discipline, and you got to be very disciplined to do this. And I've now calculated that if I went and played 60 more tables and lost at every one of them based on this methodology, I might be getting closer to breaking even on this. So I've done so well. I have absolutely, I'm so totally relaxed when I go into the casinos now. Actually, some of the dealers and that come up and talk to me, and that they probably think I'm on something because I'm so relaxed, because most people are tense in there. But I'm very relaxed because I know what's going to happen. I know over time I will do well. I'll probably lose more than I win as far as tables go. But the money is a lot higher on the win side than the losses. So I just sit there and relax and have fun.
That's incredible. And now your best kept secret will be told to the world.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
For whom did you write the book? Is there a certain audience that you have in mind?
I'm sorry, was that an audience?
Yeah, was there a certain audience that you had in mind when you wrote the book?
Well, I kind of wrote the book at the urging of friends, and they said, look, tell the world, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, well, this will be kind of fun. But it's for experienced players that were frustrated like I was all the way along and they had everything but the game plan. They had the knowledge, but they didn't have a proper game plan. So it is for them to give them a game plan, to give it a try, and hopefully it'll be as successful as I am. It's also for the inexperienced player. I mean, get in there, learn this, do it this way, and you will not have all the frustration in the years that I went through with it. You're gonna shortcut all of that, and you won't be frustrated, and you'll go and have as much fun as I have.
Exactly. So kind of like before you fall into some bad habits, here's this book. Take this and use it with what you will.
Exactly. And it's worked for me, and there's nothing special in it. There's nothing magic in it. It's just very simple approach. Have the knowledge and discipline, and you should do well.
And Steve, what drew you to Blackjack? Why did you focus on that specifically? Was it because you've had so much experience in it, or do you find that you can really use this methodology the best with Blackjack?
No, I liked the game right from the beginning. Before I had developed anything, I really liked the game. I thought it was really cool. You could go in there and you could actually make decisions and that would certainly come through in the outcomes. I kind of like that idea. Plus, I like the fact that when I read books, it said statistically, if you play it the right way, you're going to come out pretty even with the house. The house is always going to have a slight edge, but it's very small compared to a lot of the other games. So I said, this is kind of fun, and it's sociable and all that sort of thing. So all those things really intrigue me.
Oh, absolutely. Ties in all of the great things about the casino into one. So I absolutely agree.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it. So I have a lot of fun.
Do you have any specific advice for beginning blackjack players when developing a blackjack strategy?
I would think, number one, just get the knowledge of the game. Learn this basic strategy. Without it, I mean, you may as well be walking into a wedding in a Speedo. You're going to look that far out of place. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And you're going to lose. And the casino's going to love you because you're in there giving them all your money. And they're going to say, thank you very much. Better luck next time. But thanks for all your money. So, it's to learn that. And then beside that, like I always harp, learn the discipline of the strategy I'm showing you and stick with it because it's a proven winner.
I love that. You also mentioned the importance of visualization in your own personal methodology for playing blackjack. Can you talk a little bit about how your readers can apply this to other aspects of their life?
Well, it's really funny. That's been a path I've been on for I don't know how many years. I'm about 300 years old, it seems, and I've been doing this since very early. And it was to establish good goals for yourself. Establish good, big goals that seem unreachable, but make them a part of your life. It's just something you really want. Figure out what you really want and go for it. And to do that, you make the goal that you want to achieve this great thing. And then you sit back and you go, well, that's wishful thinking. Right now we're at the wishful thinking stage. Pick a couple of these goals and really dive into it. Really put yourself into a mode where I'm looking back a year from now. This goal has been accomplished. How do I feel? What changes have made in my life? And concentrate on all that. And it's amazing. And that's the visualization part. And it's amazing when you start doing that, how much closer you actually start coming to your goal without really knowing what you're doing. And that's the beauty of it. So I do a lot of that, and I certainly do it when I play blackjack. When I go in there, I go in there and visualize winning every hand, having them give me all this money, and having a great time. And I do that all the time. So, but again, this stuff can be applied for any part of your life.
I absolutely agree. I think that one of the biggest things, whether it's in a casino or in any part of your life, that overthinking and just stressing out about those things really adds that additional negativity to it. So being able to have that discipline and go in stress-free really can be applied to any part of your life, but specifically in the casino. You don't want to fall into bad habits, or you don't want to fall into that headspace where I'm just going to play 5 more games and I'm going to, we'll go from there, that sort of thing.
Well, the beauty about these goals, and I've talked to people about this, and I said, pick wild goals, whatever you want, maybe whatever it is. I said, and if you really reflect on your life, you've already done this at times, maybe on smaller things, maybe it was getting a good grade in school, maybe it was doing something, but it all seemed impossible at the time. But somehow you pulled it off. And yet we don't analyze what we did to get there because we probably didn't even know it. But we've all done it before in all these different aspects of our life. So it works. So just formalize it a little and keep at it. So that's what I try to do every day.
Absolutely.
What are some takeaways that you'd like your readers to gain after reading your book?
Basically, if you want to get into it for relaxation, entertainment, and all this, it doesn't take a whole lot. So you get the knowledge of the game, the basic strategy in that. Yeah, you look at these charts and you go, how the heck am I ever going to learn all that? It's actually quite simple once you get into it. Again, it looks huge, but it's really not. And you do that and you're going to enjoy your experience a lot more. And if you have the discipline and maybe the power in this methodology I've got, it clearly shows you when to get up and leave. And that is probably the best thing in there. Like you can stay there and, it's like playing, say, a slot machine. You win big. You win, a couple $100, $1,000 or whatever. Most people sit there the afternoon trying to win $1 million, and by the end of the day, they've given it all back. So what this does is it tells you when to get up and leave. And the beauty of casinos, you can get up from a table and leave. You can go walk around. There's generally entertainment there. You can, grab a coffee, do whatever, and then maybe come back and try again. But the importance is knowing when to get up and leave. So
I absolutely love that. I think that what I love about your book, Steve, is that it really does bring the fun and entertainment back into something like going to the casino or playing blackjack. It doesn't have to have that negative connotation that in recent years I find has been along with something like going to the casino. So I absolutely love the fact that you can really bring that back to it.
Well, it's really hilarious because if you read anything about casinos and that, the first thing says, well, you're going in there to lose because everybody loses. That's not the way. And it took me ages to do it. And in the book and that, I talk about some of the lower points. Like I'm moving along, and all of a sudden I run into a string of losses. And I said, how in the world did this happen? I've been doing so well, And that's when you got to sit back and look at the whole picture. Yeah, I might have had a string of losses, but I didn't lose that much. And just before that, I made a whole bunch of money. So I'm still a mile ahead. I stick with it, just go with it. And then all of a sudden it turns around again. So gambling at the thing, I don't care what game you're playing, it generally always goes in streaks. It's very similar to, and I like to tell people, I say, go home and flip a coin 10 times. It should come out 5 heads and 5 tails. It never does. It's always 8 and 2, 6 and 4, whatever it is. And it's just because gambling and odds and that work in streaks. So what this does is try to keep it, what it does is keep you in the game when you're in a hot streak or when it's going. But when you get to a negative streak, it tells you to get out of the game.
Just get up and get out.
Just get out. I mean, I had tables, and it's funny. I said that I lost at more tables than I won. I actually lost. I mean, I think in the book I recorded 442 tables or whatever. I lost at 51 more tables than I won. And yet I'm up a ton. And the thing is, on my average losses, I would lose about 2.5 units or whatever. But my wins, I think, was like 6.5 or something like that. I forget the exact amount. But that spread means you can lose a lot more time. And when you're winning and on a good streak in that, it's going to more than cover all the bad streaks. But you got to have the discipline to get up when it tells you to get up and get it.
Absolutely. Well, Steve, I'm very excited for the book to come out. I think that it will benefit a lot of people. For those watching this interview right now, where can they find out more about your book?
I have a webpage. It's at steve.falkner. Steve.falkner.com.
Perfect. Well, we look forward to it. Thank you so much for joining us today, Steve, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thank you very much.